Calendar for the day. The first bill on the calendar for the day is House File 244. The clerk will report the bill.
House File number 244, number 1 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to property tax administration, the first engrossment.
Recognize the member from Fillmore, Representative Davids, to introduce your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, and there's an amendment I'd like to take up first.
There is an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Davids moves to amend House File number 244, the first engrossment, as follows, and the amendment is coded A3.
Recognize the member from Fillmore, Representative Davids, to introduce your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. What the amendment does is it moves the date forward from the 1st of February. We're not going to be able to make that. The Senate hasn't heard the bill yet. I believe they hear it on Wednesday, to February 10th, and then that gives the counties, they can move their date from February 15th to the 25th for meetings for the Board of Equalization. I appreciate your support.
Any discussion on the A3 amendment? The member from Clay, Representative Marquardt.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and members, and thank you so much to Chair Davids for bringing this amendment forward in House File 244. I ask members to adopt this amendment and to also approve of the bill. This will help our townships around the state have a more efficient system when they have their Board of Equalization meetings. So I ask all members to support the amendment and the bill.
Any further discussion on the Davids A3 amendment? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of adoption of the A3 amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. Now we're back to the bill as, there are no further amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, House File number 244, as amended.
Third reading. I recognize the member from Fillmore, Representative Davids, to introduce your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The bill as amended allows the city and town boards to be eligible to conduct their 2017 meetings as long as they have a certified member by February 10th. That's a result of the amendment. This came to us from the township officers. They got in a little bind here, and so we're trying to help them out. I worked closely with the Department of Revenue, so the Department of Revenue is fine with this, and I'd like to thank Chair Drazkowski. I'd especially like to thank Representative Marquardt for your help on this issue, and also Mr. Sulam and Mr. Paul Cummings from the department helped out, because it may not seem like a big bill, but it kind of is to the townships, and it got real tricky with the various dates we had to move around, and so I'd like to thank everyone for their help. Appreciate your support.
Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll on the bill. The clerk will close the roll. There being 128 ayes and 0 nays, the bill is passed as amended and its title agreed to.